Hello everyone, it's Carrie. So the art supply company Arteza sent me some art supplies to try out, and one of the products was this set of 72 of their expert watercolor pencils. So I'm going to be reviewing them today while I do a face up. Also, stay tuned to the end of this video to see how you can win a set of your own if you're in the US or UK. So my first impressions were this is a beautiful set of pencils that I'm immediately excited about because of all of the really pretty colors, and they're in a really nice tin, and I really like tins for art supplies storage, but the plastic inserts are a bit flimsy, so I'll likely toss them out and use the tin for storage of some other art supplies and put the pencils in my wooden drawer set. So they were arranged kind of strangely. Each insert had a rainbow of colors, so I immediately took them out and rearranged them into a rainbow order for myself. But there were so many really pretty colors. And I'm super excited to get started. So here is they also sent me this watercolor pad. I did some swatching to see the color saturation, but as we know, the main use of these will be on my doll work, so I'll see if they stand up to the test when I test them on the doll shortly in this video. So I'm not an expert at watercoloring, especially with pencils, so I'm just kind of seeing how the color turns out after you swatch it and add water, since that's the main intent of these products. And later on in the month I'll be doing a review of some watercolor pans that they sent me, and that sketch pad that they also sent. So I love how the pencils have the name of the color clearly imprinted, and who can resist art supplies with names like blueberry and robin egg blue, and I think there's even like a passion fruit, so just really yummy names. Also, I love when the entire pencil is color coded to match the core of the pencil. Not only does it make my artsy eyes happy, but it makes it much easier to find the color that I need. So the initial look of the pencils was very appealing, and I was super excited to try them, but my hopes weren't very high, as I've worked with many brands of watercolor pencils since I've been doing face-ups for several years now. So I'm really choosy about the color, the pencils, and it's hard to please me because I guess I'm a bit of a snob, and when it comes to these, I just have used some of the best like Caran d'Ache and Derwent, so I struggle when using cheaper products. So most of the inexpensive ones I've used, they just haven't worked on my face-ups. So anyway, these pencils are a great price point, that they're just under $30, and that's totally crazy for 72 pencils. Even if they didn't work on face-ups, they would be a great value, because let's face it, art companies aren't really making these pencils to be used this way. They're really for paper art. So I do want to mention that there are affiliate links in the description box below. So if you purchase through these links, I do get a small commission. However, it's important for me to give you a really honest review, and while I got these products for free from Arteza, they didn't ask me to say any certain things about the products or encourage anyone to purchase them or anything. It's just really an honest review. So let's get started on with the review. I wanted to put the colors to the test, so I decided to do something fun and create a little circus performer girl, and this would allow me to use more colors and really see what these things can do. So one of the big things that is important for face-up artists, because we usually focus on the eyes of the doll, is that the white works well. And so my initial feeling when I put down the white on the doll was shock. I was really surprised, guys. I couldn't believe how well it was going down. So it made me initially think of Prismacolor. So Prismacolor has watercolor pencils, which are great for watercolor art on paper, but they didn't work well for me as a product on the eyes, except for the white and black. And the other colors were, when I'd add them onto the doll and then I'd spray them, the color would change to a completely different color pretty much. So I really only used the white and black of Prismacolor, which I really liked. So I thought, well, maybe this is that case. I really kind of, to be honest, was going into this thinking these aren't going to work. So after the white, I thought, well, it's probably just like Prismacolor, the white works pretty well, so that's great. I have an extra white pencil. So then I went on to the black, and I was like, okay, the black works well. And so I went on to other colors to really put it to the test, and I'm adding the I used purple for the lipstick, and first I'm going in with some pan pastels to color the lips purple, but then I'll go back in with the pencil. And as I added each color, I was more and more surprised that the initial layer of these pencils was going on quite well. So I'm just doing some shading in some eyeshadow with my pan pastels. And then shortly we'll see more of what these pencils can do. So I'm using the pearlescent lavender to blend in some of the regular purple of the pan pastel, and using white and colorless blender to blend those together with a teal color that I did on the inside of the eye. So I'm using some of the purple color. One thing I did notice was there, the core of the pencil did break as I was sharpening it, but that also happens with Derwent, and I haven't had it happen to Caran d'Ache, but I'm just partial to Caran d'Ache. It's just my favorite. But that has happened with more expensive pencils. So I'm adding white to blend in on the bottom lip. And as I'm going and adding these colors, I'm just more and more surprised. But at this point, I'm thinking, okay, these are working really nicely. Could this be another Prismacolor situation where after I spray the doll, that the colors change? And for example, with Prismacolor, there was I think it was pink. There was kind of a pink or a purple, I can't remember which it was, but then I sprayed it with Mr. Super Clear, and then it turned like a bright magenta, and it was completely not what I wanted on that doll. So and there was another doll artist on Instagram that actually warned me about that, saying that was the problem that she had as well. So I was thinking that this might be the case with this one, and then if so, I thought, well, this is the perfect test, because it was important to me that with this overall color scheme I was trying to create here was with like a teal and purple color scheme. If it changed the color of the purple in particular to a pink, then it would really not look anything like I wanted it to. So this was a great way to put it to the test, but I was also nervous that I was going to ruin the artwork I had done already. So I'm blending out some white for some highlight on the forehead. And this was the first layer, so I went and sprayed it. I can't remember if I was showing the results of the spray or before or after, but after spraying her with Mr. Super Clear, all of the colors remained the same. I was thrilled and shocked, and in my mind, I guess the snob in me was thinking, this can't be right. These are not going to be as good as my other pencils. But it's not so much that I'm a snob about art supplies, because I think that you should always just use whatever you have to create art, and some of the supplies I enjoy most are using Crayola. So I just think that you I kind of get attached to certain supplies, and I'm very attached to my Derwents and very attached to my Caran d'Ache. So, and having tried several other less expensive supplies, I had my mind fixed on anything inexpensive isn't going to work. You have to use the best. So there is also the question of light fastness and how this would last over time. So, but with watercolor pencils in particular, the reason that you want to use the Mr. Super Clear UV cut is because watercolor pencils in general don't have they're not light fast, meaning that they will fade. They don't have that protection that other art supplies may have. So you always want to use Mr. Super Clear with UV, so it will seal that in and last longer without fading. So kind of went off track there, but so my thought is, well, you know, Caran d'Ache has a good light fast reputation, but watercolors really don't have they're not very light fast anyway. So I'm using this amethyst, and at this point I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I just want to keep creating really fun face-ups with lots of colors, because I have this tin, like, even though I have several sets of other watercolor pencils, the more expensive ones, I don't have this much of a variety of colors, so I just wanted to really just color everything. I wanted to really colorful faces. So I hope I have a chance to do that aside from my commissions, because I'm sold at this point. These are really great pencils, and since I've done this face up, I've had her for about a week now with the face up, and nothing has changed with the color. Of course, the Mr. Super Clear seals that all in, but it's just, I don't know what I was expecting to happen, but I just wasn't expecting these pencils to be good at all, you guys. I mean, I'm completely floored that I was able to create this face up with all this bright color, and it all stay bright after I sprayed it, and that this tin of colors is only $30. What is going on? So I'm still going to be using my Derwents and my Caran d'Ache, but I think that I feel like they are a bit better, but I really can't even put my finger on how. These just really work all around well. I think the color saturation or the color coverage of that white is not as good. It definitely isn't as good as the Derwent and Caran d'Ache, but you can always do extra layers. The black isn't as bright or dark going down, but I mean the difference is minimal. And now I'm really putting it to the test by doing the iris color, and I did a couple of different purples. I think I used some teal in there as well. Yep. And I already have my favorite color, which is this that I'm using. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like this teal color. Teal is one of my favorite colors, and that particular teal was just beautiful. So the pencils, they sharpen nicely. They keep a decent point. I did the eyelashes with them. Now the eyelashes, they're not as hard of a core as my Faber-Castell art grip ones that I'm completely dedicated to. There's nothing that keeps a nice sharp point like those do, but these really are a close second when it comes to keeping a sharp point. even more so than Derwent and Caran d'Ache. So that's a huge plus. Oh, so the giveaway. So like I mentioned earlier, there's a giveaway for US and UK only. I apologize for that, but there will be information in the description box below to enter to win the same set of 72 expert watercolor pencils from Arteza of your very own. I apologize that it's only available to US and UK, so sorry about that, but this, and Arteza apologizes as well. But for those who can enter, I wish you the very best in winning a set of your own. These are really great pencils, and I'm just floored and excited to use them in the future. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, I'd love it if you gave it a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't already. And here's one last look at the pencils that I used for this particular doll, and stay tuned to the final photos at the end. Let me know if you guys have any questions about these pencils or anything else in the description box below. And thank you as always for watching. Thank you so much to my wonderful patrons who make these videos possible, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.